Seth Fraser. I am the CEO of Pro Travel Plus, and I am so honored to have today's training rolling out. It's going to be one of the most exciting events we've ever had. We already have 6 countries on the phone line right now. We have almost every single state represented in the United States, and I want to hear from you guys. We've got about 1 minute to announce yourself. So tell us who you are and where you're calling.
Seth Fraser. This is Keena Johnson out of Knoxville, Tennessee. We're in the middle of a pro travel party in Knoxville.
I love it. Oh, my goodness. That's great stuff. Welcome to the call, Knoxville, Tennessee. Everybody that's on, well, that's got to be 50 people in one room. That's great stuff. Welcome to the call.
Hey, Seth Fraser, Kelly Toller, Siebert Toller Global Group.
Welcome, Kelly Toller. You've been killing it. Thank you so much.
James from Champaign, Illinois.
Welcome, James, Champaign, Illinois.
Jenny, Linda Lane from Jacksonville Beach, Florida.
Welcome, Florida. Excellent. Good job.
Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome.
Esteban, Colorado.
Deanna from Philadelphia.
Colorado, Philadelphia. Welcome to the call.
Florida, Canada. G-Team.
Excellent. Canada.
San Diego, California.
Arlene, California.
Excellent. Welcome, Arlene.
Anthony Hiker, Kansas City.
Welcome, Anthony, and welcome, Oklahoma. I think I heard Kansas City.
Yep. Matt Boston, San Diego, California. PTP
All right. Good job, Matt Boston. Matt Boston is hosting a travel party today, guys, in San Diego. It's going to be a lot of fun. You got some competition out there, Matt, because we got some folks in Nashville who are having a blast already with their own party. So you're going to have to step up to the plate.
Gloria from New Jersey.
Welcome, Gloria.
Thank you.
Sally, California, All-Stars.
All right. Welcome.
Corey Walker, Little Rock, Arkansas.
Excellent, Little Rock. Good job. Welcome.
Arten Anderson, Chicago, Illinois.
Chris Pugh, Homer, Louisiana.
Welcome. All right, Louisiana. Good job. We're going to give you guys about 30 more seconds to introduce yourself.
Say, payment receipt, and then like a chat.
All right.
Dave Thompson from Utah.
Excellent, Utah. Welcome to the call.
Michelle from Sacramento.
Welcome, Sacramento. Good to have you.
Elizabeth,
Palm Springs, California. Excellent, Palm Springs. Welcome, guys. We have almost 300 callers on this line.
Arten, Chicago.
6 different countries. Thank you, Chicago. We've got about 10 more seconds to introduce yourself if you want to. If you're just jumping in, tell us who you are, where you're calling from.
It's your shower, boo-boo.
Welcome. All right, we're going to mute these lines out and get this going. Here, hold on one second, guys. All right, welcome to the call, everybody. I had to turn off the entry and exit chimes. We just have too many people coming in, and the information that we're going to get is too valuable. I can't let those chimes go, even though I'm so excited to hear all those dings coming in. We heard from people in 6 different countries during our introductions here, and guys, there's a reason for that, because we're all flocking to this call line today to hear from somebody that I am so honored to hear from, somebody that millionaires seek out for advice on how to grow their business, somebody whose trainings typically cost in excess of over $1,000, and he's been so kind to us to actually give us an incredible training today. But to introduce him, though, I think it's more appropriate that I bring on our VP of Marketing and one of my best friends, Mr. Charles Vest, who's done an incredible job of not just bringing together a great culture here at Pro Travel Plus, but on top of that, he's been bringing together all the tools we need to be successful ourselves. And one of the greatest things he's done is he's got incredible connections with everybody around the world in incredible ways. Now, this gentleman, Mr. Charles Vest, is going to be doing the intros. And I would like to say, though, first of all, it's my honor and privilege to introduce him as my business partner, as one of my mentors, one of my very good friends. So, Charles, are you on the line with us?
I am here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. Hello, everybody. It's Charles Vest. I am in a echoey room, so that's okay because I won't be talking that much. But I am just so honored to have my friend and mentor, Greg Reid, on the line with us. And so instead of doing a big introduction, I'm just going to tell you really briefly, if you just look up Greg S. Reid, you're going to find that this is the author of hundreds of books. You know, like they say, he's written more books than most people have ever read. And that's pretty exciting, but he's also done movies. He's traveled the world and interviewed some of the biggest and most successful icons of our day. And so without further ado, I just want to make sure he's on the line because it's really about his training. Greg, are you there?
I am here, ready to rock and roll.
Awesome. Hey, so Greg, I just want to, here's the format for our call, just so you know a little bit about Pro Travel Plus. I know you've been kind of checking us out, and thank you so much for being a member of Pro Travel Plus. But, you know, we do this call on every Saturday, and what it is an opportunity for us to train not only our members, but also to give people that, you know, don't know anything about our industry or our company a chance to listen in and be trained. So there'll be people that are part of Pro Travel Plus. There'll also be relatives of people, you know, that are saying, what are you doing joining another small business? And then there's also people that are interested in joining, and they just want to see what kind of training do you have there. And so just wanted to give you a little bit of a background. And we normally train on different techniques, and we sometimes train on, you know, how to use the internet. Sometimes we do mindset. But today we have you, and I'm going to put it all on your shoulders. I have three major questions that I can ask you, but I just want to go ahead and get started right now because I know everyone's just got their pencil and paper ready. So Greg, tell me how how did you even get the opportunity to go from just an average guy, because I know you grew up here in San Diego, to this incredible icon yourself from interviewing so many people around the world?
I'm going to answer that question, and I'm going to begin with, by the way, anyone that isn't familiar with my work, my name's Greg Reid. I'm an author, speaker, filmmaker in San Diego, California. And I happen to be very good friends with Charles and Seth and the entire team. And when they asked me to jump on this call, it was without hesitation. In fact, I so believe in this program and this opportunity that I hope that everyone shares it with the world. The short little version here is that there's a book written about 100 years ago called Think and Grow Rich. Now, Think and Grow Rich was the iconic book that transformed a lot of regular people into millionaires. And 100 years later, the family and, you know, president and association of the Napoleon Hill Foundation asked me to kind of carry on the teachings, where he went around the world and met iconic figures and found out what they did. And so I've had a chance to sit down with everyone from the guy who invented string theory to the guy who started NASCAR, from the people that started Chick-fil-A restaurants all the way to RE/MAX real estate, everything in between. And I will look for the common denominators. What did they do differently than the rest of the world? And what you're going to find out, that even the rocket scientists weren't rocket scientists. They were regular folks that just did something different. And it began with one word, and it's called stickability. And I know it sounds weird, but I'm saying again, stickability. It means they had the power to persevere. And one of the greatest interviews I did was with a gentleman named John Schwartz, who invented string theory. Now, for those of you who aren't science buffs, that's cool. You probably watch The Big Bang Theory, the TV show, where Sheldon is always working on string theory. Well, I got to sit down with the guy who actually invented it, where Albert Einstein couldn't figure it out, but this gentleman did. And I asked him a question, and I says, what is the difference between people who are successful and those who are not? And here's his answer. Now, normally when you jump on these calls, you wait to the very end to get the golden nugget. We're reversing it. I'm giving you the golden nugget right now, okay? So everyone pay attention to this. Write this down. He said that successful people seek counsel where failures listen to opinion. Let's say it again. Successful people seek counsel where failures listen to opinion. And I said, what's the difference? And he says, well, opinion is based on ignorance, lack of knowledge, inexperience, kind of like your family or your friends who've never done what you're about to do. He said counsel is based on wisdom, knowledge, mentorship from people who have already paved the way. They've already done it and had success in their life. For example, if you go to someone who's never started a home-based business and say, hey, I'm going to get involved with this travel agency, they're going to say, oh, you can't do that. All those things are the same. You'll never make it. And you'll say, why? And they'll say, I don't know. You just can't. Well, that's their opinion. They never did it. But if you go over here to Seth, if you go here to Charles and say, hey, I want to get balls in your industry. How do I do it? They're going to sit you down. They're going to go knees to knees and say, look, before you get started, here's what you need to know. And they're going to give you counsel that is based on wisdom, knowledge, and years of mentorship. Well, John Schwartz, the inventor of string theory, said if we would spend our daily activities only seeking counsel and ignoring people's opinion, that's the day that your life would change. So for the people on the call, understand this. It's extremely important to understand where you're getting your information from. Surround ourselves with people who are getting the results we want, and then we can get them for ourselves. When I was brand new in this industry, look, I got a D in English, right? I'm not the greatest writer in the world. So when I wanted to become a best-selling author, the people that didn't know what I was doing, they laughed and said it will never happen. And I had one mentor who wrote books and says, you know what you do is you go to Barnes & Noble. You buy every best-selling book. Then you call those authors up and you ask them to teach you. And that's what I did. And by sitting down with the people who are getting the results that I wanted, here we are, and I've been publishing 58 books in 45 languages and all that good stuff, only for the fact that I surrounded myself with people who are doing what I want. When I wanted to become a public speaker, I said, well, who's the best in the world? And I went Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, Les Brown. And those are the people I sought out. Those are the people I hung out with. Those are the people I asked them to teach me. And here we are today. Currently, I'm making my first major motion picture called An American Hero. It's based on one of the interviews I did along the journey with Frank Shankwitz. Now, no one knows that name. I understand that. But you know what he started. He began a nonprofit. Basically, he was a highway patrol officer for 40 years. And one kid was dying of leukemia, and he had a dream to become a police officer before he passed away. And by granting that one dream and making that one dream come true, he realized if he did it for one kid, he could do it for more, and started what we know today as the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And right now we're making this movie, but again, I don't know anything about movies, so I said, well, who just won an Oscar? Who's the people that produce the biggest films in the industry? And we just got back from going up there 2 days ago and meeting with these people because they're already doing what we want to do. Now, here's what you're asking yourself. How do you get access to these people? Well, here's the answer. The most successful people are also the most available people. Now, I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. The most successful people are also the most available. Here's why. If you're brand new at something, you're happy-go-lucky, you're fresh, you're cool, you're excited. If you're at the top, if you're at the pinnacle of your field, you're happy-go-lucky. You got nothing else to prove. But if you're in the middle, pain in the neck. We're filled with ego. We're edging God out. We're finding our own voice. So the secret is to literally jump from the starting point to the front of the line. I know in school they used to yell at you for doing that, but in life and business, that's what the secret is. Surround ourselves with people who are getting the results we want. Is that about right, Charles?
Absolutely, yes. I was on mute because I was writing. That is absolutely perfect, and I love that. And I'm fortunate enough to actually have you as one of the people that I sought out and surrounded myself with. I remember when I met you at a book signing, and I said to myself, this guy, what's he want to do with me? He's got all these great, millionaires and exciting people around him. And guys, when I walked up to him and just treated him like a normal person, he looked at me and said, what do you do for a living? And I told him a little bit, and then next thing you know, we were having breakfast the next morning. And so I love that saying, write that down. The most successful people are the most accessible people, because Greg proved it in the first time that we met. So, Greg, here's a question I have for you, and I'm just going to go ahead and just throw it out there, without any real, background behind it. What is when you talk about stickability and perseverance, what is it that you have found is this ingredient? Where does it come from? How is it that somebody can stop themselves when they're right there before an opportunity, presents itself, and others have the perseverance to continue to go through it?
I think a lot of it, Napoleon Hill talked about the sick ghost of fear, what people are afraid of most. And one of it was criticism. It's like what other people would think. And the challenge is, you remember that coffee mug at Disneyland that says, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Well, here's another version. What would you do if you didn't really care what other people thought? I mean, seriously, what would you do? What would you attempt if you didn't care what other people thought? And most people in this type of industry that you're doing where it's direct sales, unfortunately, what happens is they're so afraid what other people are going to say or what other people think that they're using that precious energy rather than going out and building their business. They do it by justifying why they're in that business, and that is just unacceptable. And what we want to do is something that's called illuminate. It's interesting. My mentor, his name is David Corbin, and he wrote a book called Illuminate. And they used to have those dancing bears. They used to say, accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative. And he says, no. He goes, it's the opposite. He says you have to accentuate the positive and illuminate the negative. And I go, what do you mean? He says, well, look, imagine if you're going out on a date, and it's your first date, and you got a big old pimple on your nose. As soon as you knock on the door, they come and answer. You say, let's get this out of the way. I got Mount Kilimanjaro on my nose. You both laugh. You get out of the way. And by illuminating it, now you don't have to worry about hiding it or covering it up. It's just reality. Well, that's the way most successful people operate. Rather than run from their fears, they actually embrace it and let people know. And I realize I live on the beach. In fact, I'm in San Diego, and I'm overlooking the ocean right now. And these surfers, imagine a surfer out on the waves, and all of a sudden a big old giant wave comes into them, and they get scared. And imagine if you held onto that surfboard for protection. Well, as soon as you do that, that wave is going to come over you and push you down to the bottom and probably break you in that surfboard in half. But what great surfers do is they take the tip of the board and do something called a duck dive. I'll say it again, a duck dive. What that means is they take the tip of the board and they see the big wave coming and they go right into the belly of it. And then they just pop right back on the other side. And what happens is I realize most successful people, that's what they do. They run toward their fears. Whatever scares them, they run towards them. They don't run from it. They don't hide from it. They just embrace it. And then more importantly, they're not afraid to let those spots be seen. It's one of the things, I train a lot of people in direct sales. And the first thing I do is I suggest that people illuminate what might be the negative. So what they do is they go up and they meet somebody and say, hey, let me tell you about this amazing opportunity. And they're talking about all the features and benefits, but the person listening, all they're thinking is this another network marketing company? Is this another one of these things? And what happens is if we reverse that, here's where the magic happens. Imagine going up to someone and saying, hey, my name is Greg. I got to tell you about something I've been exposed to. Now, I'm going to get this out of the way and tell you flat out that this is a direct sale opportunity that I've never been involved with in my life. And the reason I did this is because I found something that's so special, it's going to change my life and the people around me. And then all of a sudden you start telling the features and benefits. The person on the other side is now listening, knowing what it is. They're not thinking for themselves, and now they're hearing the actual features and benefits. And so I realize the people that reverse it are the people that really rock it, and they come out on top. So I would answer your question, Charles, by the simple answer is most people are afraid what other people will think, and that's what stops them from having it. Again, what would you do if you really didn't care what other people thought or said? If you found something that you knew in your heart of heart, not hope, not wish, not believe, but you know you're onto something special, never let another person or yourself talk you out of what you know to be true.
Yeah, Greg, as you're sharing this information, I'm reminded of when I watched you on stage and you pulled out that dollar bill. You want to share that with us? I think that's a great story.
Yeah, I'm a regular person, and what happened is when I started writing my books and going on this journey, things were financially really challenging. We all have our ups and downs. I'm going through one right now. And I realized that, what were our self-worth, so many people dictate on how much money they have in the bank account. And I was getting down on myself. And I had a meeting with this woman named Genevieve Bosch. She started Pink Magazine. And I flew out to meet her, and I remember I was feeling down because I just I voluntarily repoed my 2 cars, and I hawked my Rolex watch. I mean, I was going in a spiral because that's just the way the economy was back in 2007, 2008, and I was getting down on myself. And I went to her, and she says, never let a mistake, setback, or circumstance determine your value as a person. And I said, well, that's easy for you to say because you're rich. She reached into her purse, and she pulled out a crisp $100 bill, and she goes, here, do you want this? I go, yep. I could use that dough right now. And she crumpled it. She goes, here, do you still want it? And I go, yeah, I could really use that cash. She throws it on the ground, and she steps on it like a cigar butt. And she goes, here, do you still want that piece of paper? And I go, humbly, Genevieve, I could use that dough. I go, I flew all the way here. I don't have money for a taxi ride back to the airport. I could really use that cash. And she looks at me right in the eye, and she goes, then why is it in life when you get beaten, you get kicked, you get crumpled, thrown to the ground and stepped on, you think your value as a person changes? Just as that value of the $100 bill remains the same, what you just went through proves that you will not tear and you will not break. And more importantly, it has nothing to do with the value of which you exist.
Yeah, I just love that story, and when I say it, it's just not as good. You're so good at it. So, Greg, I want to just kind of throw a couple things at you. We are doing so well on time. You were so quick with your answers. I mean, I just love this, and I know because I've worked with you on so many other occasions, and I've seen you speak maybe 100 times. And I could easily just point to different, things that I've heard from stage. But I want to ask the question as if I'm a new person in Pro Travel Plus. And one of the questions that I know is on a lot of people's minds is, I've done this before. I've been in network marketing 4 times. I haven't been successful. Why should I even consider trying again? What's going to be different? And that attitude just stops people in their tracks. They won't try something new. And so what would you say to that type of person?
Well, this is probably an opposite answer than you guys would hope I'd say, but I'm going to be direct because you asked me that question. And I'm going to say tough tiddlywinks. And I'm going to say that we are exactly where we choose to be. And the fact of the matter is that most people, if they do not seize an opportunity, and then they go around and wonder why they never catch a break. Well, it's their own darn fault. And sometimes it takes 4 times. Sometimes it'll take 8 times. Sometimes it takes 27 times before something becomes a success. When I did my first book, it was called The Millionaire Mentor. And people think I mentor millionaires, but I work with inner city gang kids. I happen to be successful. So as I drive up in the new car, they'd say, here comes the Millionaire Mentor. Well, when you write a book, remember, I got a D in English, and I was brand new. Well, I sent out these thing called a query letter. And a query letter says who you are, what's your message, why are you an expert, and who's going to read your book. Well, I sent 8 query letters every single week to every publisher, every agent, every printer, everyone in the industry I could get a hold of. And the next week, I got 8 rejection letters. They all said the same thing. You got the D in English, you can't write yourself out a paper bag. They were horrible. But what happened is I would not quit because I knew that maybe you're just 3 feet away from gold. And so what happened is I was turned down by 268 publishers in a row. The 269th publisher said, we're going to do your book. All you've got to do is change the title, the beginning, the middle, and the end part. I figured, heck, you're smarter than me, so I took their counsel, not their advice, but their counsel because they did it before, and it went on to become this worldwide mega bestseller for me, which started my entire career. Now, I guarantee you, if I would have stopped after 8 rejections, which would have been acceptable, or 50, or 80, or 100, or 120, or 200, or 212, or 204. You know what I'm saying? The realities are I would not quit because I knew in my heart of hearts. I didn't hope. I didn't wish. I didn't believe. I knew I was on to something special, and I would never let another person or myself talk me out of that dream. The realities are literally you could be sitting on that 269th opportunity that you're just waiting for that perfect thing for Venus, Pluto, and Mars to align, and you're sitting on it right now. But the whole thing is we got to put away this stinking thinking the negative thoughts and the negative people around us, surround ourselves with people who are getting the results we want, surround ourselves with people that are actually doing what we want to do, and start getting their information from them. And by supplying us with the opportunity of what can be, we'll start seeing the opportunities that are at hand.
Wow. Now, I just love that. And I certainly hope that everyone is taking amazing notes and just picking up these nuggets, because I know we can do this all day long, and that's why I just enjoy hanging out with you so much. And I got a quick question for you. And Seth is, Seth said, I'm just going to sit back and I'll just listen to the call. But, Seth Frazier, our CEO, is like chomping at the bit. He sent me 4 text messages already saying, okay, I want to play, right? So, Seth, come on into the sandbox with us. And,
well, one of the things that really impressed me about sitting down with you, Greg, when we had an opportunity to meet with you at your home, and I guess taking a step back, almost two subjects to where you were talking about the availability of people who are successful. I find that to be a really intriguing concept because, to my mind, before I started to really get with successful people and surround myself with them, my thought process was, I don't want to bother this guy. He's got so much going on. He's so successful. I don't really want to take his time out. And so what would you suggest to people that have that mindset to be able to push through that and find the leaders that are out there and start seeing the fact that they really, truly are available to other people and that they're willing to give their time, their mentorship, like you have on this call? I mean, this is a perfect example of it because we took an opportunity to spend some time with you. You offered to allow us to come to your house and do some great filming. And then even then, I still had that same issue in my own head thinking, we need to get out of this guy's hair. He's got you did, Greg. You said, let's film another segment. And then so we filmed another segment, and then I said, okay, great, thanks for your time. And you said, sit down. Let's do another one. And it helps me, myself, push through that fear. What would you say to people who have that fear of approach or who are looking for a mentor but they haven't really approached the right people? How would you be able to guide them through that to be able to take the next step and move forward in their own business?
What's interesting is the just even the theory behind of what you just said was, if someone came to you, Seth, honest to goodness, and said, hey, man, I'm struggling, I'm going through some stuff, I want to pick your brain on how I can grow my business, would you personally sit down with them and talk to them? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Well, there you go. And so, and you've grown and become a multimillionaire many times over, and you're successful in this industry, and that's how people are. And what happens is that I realize that just most people are afraid to reach out. But I'm going to give you the answer to the question that you're asking me. Is I remember, for example, when I wanted to become a public speaker, I sat down with one of my heroes, Charlie Tremendous Jones. And then I sat down with Les Brown, who's one of the greatest living speakers alive today. And I remember I went to Les, and I said, Les, I want to be a great speaker like you. I go, would you just give me one nugget that I could do for my own career that could help me become more successful? And he did. And I went and did something absolutely crazy. I actually applied what he told me. And then I sought him out again a few weeks later and said, Mr. Brown, I met you a while ago. I asked you for one golden nugget that I could do in my speaking career. This is what you told me. Here's what I did. What should I do next, sir? What's the chance of him giving me the second golden nugget? 100%. Because I honored my mentor by actually following through. So to answer your question, the way that we get through to these people and the way that we get access is by actually applying what we hear and what we do. And I tell you one thing, when people want to meet with me, and here's just a true story, and Charles will attest to this, if someone wants to meet with me, which is a lot of people ask, I weed them out way before ahead of time. I sit there and say, great, if you want to meet with me, then all I need you to do is text me Tuesday morning at 10:05, not 06, not 04, 10:05. If you do that, I'll have a meeting with you. And if they actually text me at 10:05, which 99.9999% of people will not fall through, well, if they did, I'd say, great. Now I'll tell you what, I'll meet you Thursday at my office at noon, but I want you to bring me 2 empty lobster shells or something. I just make something up. And what happens is if they'll text me at this time and show up with that thing, I know that they're willing to take action. And most people just talk it out. So what my mentors have taught me is surround yourself with people who are actually willing to dig down deep and do something. So to get access to people, honor them by actually following through.
That is incredible advice. I love that. And, you know, in your experience in this industry, you're constantly connected with people who are millionaires, billionaires, and the like, who have been through this. Everybody on this call right now is starting a business, by the way, and you know that, obviously. We're all entrepreneurs. Everybody here wants to create that success for themselves. So I guess the question that I've got for you now, Greg, is what percentage of the people you've dealt with, these people who are millionaires, billionaires, who've created some of the biggest companies on the planet, everybody from the guy that invented the credit card strip to the gentleman you're talking about that invented string theory, how many of them experienced so many failures that they really should have quit?
100%. I mean, everybody, 100%. No, I got to take that back. There's one guy I met that had success from the get-out and kept all of his dough. That's the guy who invented Pictionary, the board game. But besides, he's 26 years old, getting drunk after college, drawing, pictures out of a dictionary, and that game went on to become a worldwide phenomenon. Yet in general, that's like winning the lottery. Almost everyone goes through failure after failure, but here's the difference. Successful people go from failure to failure without the loss of enthusiasm. I'm going to say it again. Going from failure to failure without the loss of enthusiasm. Most people give up and they start getting so down on themselves. They kick themselves when they have a setback. And you know what? The God or the universe, whatever we choose to call it, doesn't reward people that are down and out. What they're doing is they keep rewarding the people that will get up and fight and say that just put me in one more time, coach. Give me one more shot. How do I look for an opportunity? And those are the people that end up getting those opportunities because they're seeing them. One of the interviews I did was with the founder of Chick-fil-A restaurants. You guys all know, Truett Cathy. Before he passed away, I sat him down and I said, I want to be a billionaire. What do I do differently? He looks at me and said, stop planning. I go, well, that goes against everything we're taught. And he goes, well, last year you had a lot of plans. I go, yeah. He goes, how did that work out for you? I go, not so good. He goes, look for unexpected opportunity and then capitalize on it. I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, if I want to get to the end of the street, and that's my goal, I get off my backside and I take action and I move toward my goal. He goes, a planner is going to plan every step where they're going to pause and take a break. If there's some type of challenge, they're going to try to overanalyze and think that through. He goes, for myself, I'm going to look for opportunity. Did a kid leave a skateboard or a bicycle out and make my journey shorter? He goes, if I get lucky, I'll wave down a neighbor who's driving by and I'll hitch a ride to the end of the street. He says, either way, I'll get to my goal, my destination. I just don't really get too caught up on how it has to happen. And he said the secret of all prosperity is to look for that opportunity and capitalize on it. Right now, everyone on this call has been looking for that opportunity. Right now, it's falling in your lap. The challenge is, will you take advantage of the opportunity? When these guys came to me and said, hey, we want you to, do a little bit of training with our people and whatnot. I says, that's great, but, you're friends, but what is the business? And then started telling me about Pro Travel, and I went, holy smokes, this is brilliant. You mean to tell me that you get paid to go on vacation and to share it with their family and friends and to be, I go, not only will I do some training, but sign me up. So I'm actually part of this process, which I don't join network marketing companies, but this one I did. Know why? Because I saw not only the opportunity, but I also saw the leadership, and I realized that I was going to capitalize on the opportunity at hand.
Awesome. Hey, Greg, so we're going to be closing it up here in just a bit. And before we do that, I want to give everybody an opportunity to know a couple things that you're doing. And obviously, we can always talk about the Secret Knock, which is, that private event that you put on twice a year. But I also want to share about the Secret of Happiness. And would you mind sharing a little bit about some of the things you got going on so we can all kind of participate?
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing it up. For those of you who would like to check out my books, go into Barnes & Noble bookstore and pick up a Greg Reid book, and I think you'll enjoy it. And then door number 2 is we do a private event called Secret Knock, and that's secretknock.com. secretnugget.co. We left the M off so people wouldn't find it. It's secret. And the idea is that people keep saying, how do I meet your friends? How do I meet all these people you interview? So we started doing an event where you get to come hang out with all these amazing folks. So this next one's in August, and it's completely sold out. But we've got everyone from the founder of Make-A-Wish to the guy who invented the credit card magnetic strip, the guy who invented Pictionary to the guy who invented Ugg boots. We've got, some of the most incredible people from television back to childhood star of the Beaver, from Leave It to Beaver all the way to the founder and the lead singer of the Little River Band coming in to give us a private concert. And the idea is, how do you surround yourself with these people? And Secret of Happiness event we're going to do in June next year is going to be the same activity, is how do you surround yourself with people that are literally living the life that we've dreamed? And then more importantly, how can we glean off them and start doing it for ourselves? So we're putting together the Secret of Happiness event that will be going on next June in San Diego and Southern California. It's extremely inexpensive to join us for that one. Secret Knock is extremely expensive, but Secret Code of Happiness is an extremely affordable opportunity to come hang out with people that have transformed the world. And you can go to SOH for Secret of Happiness, SOHevent.com, and you can learn all about that there.
Awesome. Greg, I got one last question for you, and I already know what the answer is because you are the person that taught me how to say yes to everything. So I've already set you up for this question. So here it comes, man. So we, as you know, as a travel company, we do destination trips. We go to Jamaica. We go to Cabo San Lucas. We're going all over, we're on cruise ships, and I'm just going to ask you straight up, would you mind sharing some of these great gold nuggets that you have and participating with us on a few of those trips to help us actually put together some trainings that others here in our company can share the stage with you and share some of these secrets to success?
So the question is, will I go on a wonderful trip and just talk about what I already know and enjoy it with my family and friends? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, put me down on that one. That's the whole reason why I love the group. I mean, that's all. It's not even a sales pitch. Sure, where do I sign?
Right. Well, thank you so much, Greg. We just really are honored to have you on this call. I know that you're here not only because you're my friend, but because you see the opportunity at Pro Travel Plus. Over 300 people on this call right now that you've had a chance to address. Over 6 countries on this call, by the way, listening to you. So we all want to say welcome to the Pro Travel Plus family, and we look forward to seeing you on the beaches of the world as well. All right?
Right on. We'll save it. We'll save a seat for you.
I love that tagline. Good thing I thought of it. All right.
See you, cool cats. Bye.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being on this call. Here's the announcement that we have. We actually have been recording trainings with Greg Reid, and they're going to help you for free. We're going to help you learn some of these principles.
We're out here in Greensboro, North Carolina, at the ballpark, where we're going to be doing our Pro Travel Plus travel party at the baseball game, guys. Alan Jones, 3-star elite, with 3-star Melissa Honeybee, 3-star elite Austin Zulauf, just talking away, you guys. But we're going to have fun, so stay tuned. If you're in North Carolina, if you can make it out, be here, you guys. Nothing but the top. Pro Travel Plus,
billionaires and successful people just like we get to. So start thinking about the associations around you and start illuminating the negative and getting rid of those type of people and start getting involved with the people that are the most successful around you. They are looking for you. All you have to do is follow up and follow through, and they'll be there to help you as well. So once again, this is Charles Vest, co-founder and VP, and we also have the CEO, Seth Frazier, on this call, and nobody can run a company better than him. Guys, you have great leadership, and those associations are going to take you far, but they don't work unless you work. So go out there, share this opportunity with others, let people know what we have, and we'll see you all on the beaches of the world. Talk to you tonight at 7 o'clock Pacific time. Have a great afternoon.